Shalom, Israel, Shabbat Shalom. First off, all praises to the Most High and His Son. Today's class, the training up of Yah's children. Everybody in Israel pretty much have been regurgitated dummies in this truth, man.
Work it out.
All of us.
That's right.
Every last one of us.
That's right.
Just regurgitation of what we thought the truth was, and the foundation of the truth was a bunch of lies, and
that's right.
The way it was used was against all the principles of the Most High, all the principles of it. So when you really look at the truth and what it's all about, you'll see that it's really going in the same situation as a father and his household. A father and his wife, his children and his sons and his daughters, it's going in the same perspective, but we've all been taught completely wrong. And if we look at it the way the Bible speaks of it, then we'll pretty much get ourselves back on track and off the Pharisee doctrine and on to what the Bible is really talking about. Let's get started on Romans 15:4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
If you understand the grasp of growing, you're gonna grow from a child and you're gonna grow into a man or into a woman. So whatsoever things were written aforetime was written for our learning, because as you learn, you grow.
Right.
And a lot of times we really don't understand the aspects of that. Read on out.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
We understand that our hope lies in what this Bible says.
That's right.
Being raised from a child to a man, and as an adolescent, as a child, you really have to be taught things. 2 Timothy 3:16. You really have to be taught. And if you are prudent, you will learn.
That's right.
If you're disobedient, you'll learn. But it's going to be a hard lesson. Read up.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God.
Read.
And is profitable.
Is what?
Is profitable for doctrine. For reproof.
Read on.
For correction.
For correction. Read.
For instruction.
For instruction. Read.
In righteousness.
In what?
In righteousness.
Now you just can't learn how to be righteous when you come into this world, because we all born in sin.
Bring it out.
We all being born in sin. We all being born in a development phase. That development phase is actually a learning mechanism that we have to go through in order to grow. So we got to be taught things. And that's why the Lord set everything up the way it's set up. Read.
That the man of God.
That the what?
That the man of God.
Because as the scriptures have corrected you and instructed you and reproved you, you become a man.
That's right.
And he said that the man of God, now that you're at full strength, now that you're fully grown, read.
May be perfect.
May be what?
May be perfect.
Like his Father in heaven is perfect. May be what?
May be perfect.
Read.
Truly finished. Truly furnished unto all good works.
Unto what?
Unto all good works.
Unto all good works. Unto all good works.
That's right.
We make ourselves available for all good works. See, there's wickedness and there's righteousness.
That's right.
And it's up to us to see which one we want to walk in.
Bring it out.
We have to make sure that we walking in God's righteousness, not playing with our own soul, not playing with our own life. Fear him who can kill the body and the spirit.
That's right.
That's what we don't do. We fear him who can kill the body. We got to come out of that.
That's right.
Our way of thinking has to change. Now let me show you something about the Lord, man. Give me Exodus 4:21. The book of Exodus, chapter 4, and verse 21. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh.
Everything the Most High told him to do, he's supposed to do these things in front of the Pharaoh. Read.
Which I have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart.
He gonna harden his heart. Read.
That he shall not let the people go.
Read on,
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son.
Israel is who?
Israel is my son.
The Most High God. God said, he said, Israel is my son. That's taking possession of us as his child.
That's right.
Read.
Even my firstborn.
Even what?
Even my firstborn.
So he called us his firstborn son. That's why we get the inheritance. That's why we get the adoption.
That's right.
That's why we was given the laws. That's why, because we the firstborn son, right?
That's right.
Well, when a man has a son, what does he do? He trains him up.
That's right.
What does he do? He gives him rules and regulations to life. This is what it says. Read on,
And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me.
That we may serve him, that we may give our service to him. Read.
And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son.
Read.
Even thy firstborn.
Give me Proverbs 22:6. See, he born us. He gave us the ability to be his firstborn sons. Read,
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6.
Read.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
It said, train up a child in the way he should go. So when he gave us that father figure that we needed, when he adopted us, brought us in, made us that holy nation, he had to train us up.
That's right.
Read it again.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
He said, train him up in the way he should go. Read.
And when he is old.
When he is what?
When he is old.
When he is of age. Read.
He will not depart from it.
He will not depart from it, meaning he going to realize throughout his building up from a child to a grown man that his father was teaching him the right things to do.
That's right.
Raising him, teaching him. That's what this life and that's what this Bible is all about.
That's right.
We don't push this vain glory thing on everybody, man. Trying to usurp authority over your brothers and over your sisters. When God is the only authority, God himself is the judge.
That's right.
And we point the finger and say, you supposed to be doing it, you supposed to be.
Bring it out.
But we are really the Lord's children. He's the Father.
That's right.
He's raising us through the scriptures. That's why it's a must that you read. It's a must that you take our time to do it.
That's right.
Because guess what? This is how he raises us.
That's right.
Through the scripture. Proverbs 20:1. Not Proverbs 20:1. Exodus 20:1. My bad. Exodus 20:1. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
Read.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Read.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Do y'all really hear what he's saying? When I was born in my father's house, I couldn't respect no other man outside that house. I had to respect my father.
That's right.
That's the house I grew up in.
That's right.
Read,
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Now I'm going to show you what happens here. What happens here is you're being raised in your father's house. He gave you commandments. Things that you are supposed to do and you're not supposed to do.
Bring it out.
And what happens is we get caught up in what we're not supposed to do.
Bring it out.
So when you become a disobedient child, what happens? You become punished. Now let me go here. Give me Psalm 97:7. Psalm 97:7. Let me get it. Psalm 97:7. And what happens is when you bring worship, when you worship these idols, because he said he don't have no other God before me. You in my house, you living in my house, son, and you're going to live by my rules. Read.
The book of Psalm, chapter 97 and verse 7.
Read.
Confounded be all they that serve graven images.
Read.
That boast themselves of idols.
He said confounded. You become confounded because guess what you're doing now? You're trying to bring the rules of another man's house or another person's home in your house with your father.
Bring it out.
And it's not going to be accepted. You know, because you remember little Timmy and them next door, they got to stay out to 12. You had to be in the house by 9.
Bring it out.
You know, so you go back to your dad and you say, they get to stay out to 12. You get slapped in your mouth because he's telling you that my rules go in my house.
That's right.
So what happens when he slaps you in your mouth? You become confounded.
That's right.
These are the things that you got to look for now. You got to look at these things now, man. He was just training us. Training us. It's a lot to this. Finish that out.
Worship him, all ye gods.
He said, worship him, all ye gods. We got one Father.
That's right.
And he got his son who actually brought training to us, his other sons. See, we want to take things out of perspective. We gotta grow. One thing we ain't doing, we ain't growing because we steady looking at what we can't do instead of looking at what we can do.
Bring it out.
That's a part of growing. Give me Habakkuk 2 and 18. Go ahead.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18.
Read.
What profiteth the graven image?
What profiteth the graven image? What profiteth the things that you follow? Read.
That the maker thereof hath graven it.
Because guess what you're doing now? You're worshiping something that was created by man's hands, by a man. Not by your father, by a man. Read.
The molten image. And a teacher of lies.
What is it?
A teacher of lies.
Because these things, they teach us what? Outside of our Father's house, the things you can and can't do.
Bring it out.
Can you take those back into your home? Nah, because it's a list of rules on the refrigerator that tell you what you're supposed to do every day.
That's right.
And if you don't follow those rules, you get put on punishment.
That's right.
The same thing God does to us. Read.
That the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols.
To make what?
To make dumb idols.
Read.
Woe unto him that said to the wood, awake. To the dumb stone, arise.
Woe unto them that believe in these false gods, these graven images. Read.
It shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver. And there is no breath at all in it.
Understand something. What takes a man away from his covering? What takes a man? What takes us away from home? Right. Y'all got to think things that are shiny, things that are encouraging to the eyes. When you see things you like and you want, but it's really not good for you. You remember when you bought your first car and you seen them 60s and Vogues on them? That was shining to your eye. Now you out there working hard to get them 60s and Vogues, but that's not a part of your heritage. That's not how you roll. So when you got robbed for them, you seen that was the wrong thing to do.
Bring it out.
You know, you seen you should have did what Daddy, what Daddy say? Daddy say keep them hubcaps on there. Daddy say roll your car original. You feel what I'm saying? Don't go looking for things that make you worship them. Read up.
But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him.
And it gave you another word. It said, but the Lord is in the holy temple. Where you should be is on this side. But where you at is on this side. You feel what I'm saying? You got to get yourself back into the perspective of the rules of the house. Do what thus says the Lord in your life. Exodus 20 and 5. And I may or may not get through all these precepts. Go ahead, Art.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 5.
Read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
He said, thou shalt not serve them. Read.
Nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
He said, I'm your daddy. Respect me. Honor me.
That's right.
Read.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
That do what?
That hate me.
I don't know how many sons in this world, really, if you think about it, when your dad really tried to raise you, you really had some type of hatred for him.
Bring it out.
When you were young. Because when you were young, you had no understanding. You were young, you didn't understand that he was teaching you. You didn't understand that he was building you up. You was just a little child that wanted your way. You was just a child that wanted to go to the sock hop on Friday, and you wanted to take one of the canned goods from the house, but he said no, because that canned good got to go with dinner tonight. That's so right. You won't be going to the sock hop, and now you mad at him for telling you to do, for telling you to love your family more than you love what you're trying to do.
Bring it out.
You mad at him for that. You be angry with your daddy, man. But all your daddy was trying to do was sit you in the right direction, talk with you, walk with you. The same thing God does with us as his children. Raising up God's children is a hard thing to do.
That's right.
Because we the most rebellious children on the planet. But remember, when you become a man, you put away childish things. You're supposed to start walking. That's how you know a lot of people ain't really there yet. They're not really there yet. Give me Joshua 23:6. Joshua 23 and verse 6. Go ahead, Arthur.
The book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 6.
Read.
Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses.
Read.
That ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand.
Don't turn to the right hand, read.
Or to the left.
Nor to the left. Walk that straight and narrow path. Read.
That ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you,
read.
Neither make mention of the name of their God, nor cause to swear by them,
read.
Neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them, but cleave unto the Lord your God.
After he gave you that permanent instruction not to get taken away by the other nations, by the world, by what the world gives to, after you gave permanent instructions not to sway, he gave you what you should be doing. It says, but cleave unto the Lord. Read that again for me, y'all.
But cleave unto the Lord your God.
Read.
As ye have done unto this day.
He said, but cleave unto him. As he has worked for you all this time. See, he raising you up now. And then raising you up and teaching you and growing you. It says, never leave this, because this is what protects you. This is what's raising you. This is what's making you become a man.
That's right.
So if you leave this, you put yourself in turmoil for the rest of your life.
That's right.
And I know we're gonna go through things, but ain't that the same thing we do as fathers? Don't we give our children, check our children about how it's gonna be out there in that world, how it's gonna be when you go through something out there? You're gonna be saying, Daddy, you told me this, and Daddy, you told me that. And that's what happens every time. You love your children enough to try to make them do the right thing. But if they don't do it, they got to go out there and bump their head. When they come back home, they're going to say, Daddy, you told me. I've heard it from all of them. Damn, Daddy, you told me that. The same way God deals with us. Man, you got to think about a real father and what he's doing, bro. A real father. Exodus 20:6. I'm going to roll through this pretty fast. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 6.
Read.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments.
And do what?
And keep my commandments.
When you was that child in your father's house, you did everything he told you to do, and you made sure you did it, and sometimes you even was angry about it, but you guess what? You got up and done it. You got up and done it because that's what Daddy asked you to do. What? That child right there seems to grow faster than the rest of the children. That child right there. Read up.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
You say you're not supposed to take his name in vain. Disrespecting the Lord. Taking his name in vain. Lies. Hypocrisy. Taking his name in vain.
Bring it out.
Playing with him. Playing with the name of the Lord. Give me Micah, Art. Micah 6:1. The book of Micah. Let me get that with you. The book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 1. Go ahead.
The book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Read.
Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice.
Read.
Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy.
The Lord's controversy, the problem. Read.
And ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with his people.
The Lord has a controversy with his people because I'm trying to help you grow. But read.
And he will plead with Israel.
And he will do what?
And he will plead with Israel.
Don't you catch yourself pleading with your children, son? I just want you to get right, man. Where you at right now, you really safe for you. Daughter, where you at right now is not safe for you. I'm pleading with you. Hey, just keep the commandments, keep the rules of the house. Come back home, keep the rules of the house. And guess what? I'll be there for you. I'll keep you safe because that's my job as a father.
That's right.
So that's what he tells us. But he have a controversy with the way we react to things. Read.
O my people, what have I done unto thee?
What have I done unto thee but built thee up? What have I done unto thee but taught thee the right things to do?
Bring it up.
What have I done unto thee but tried to make you put you in a safe place?
Bring it up.
Read,
And wherein have I worried thee?
Read.
Testify against me.
He say testify. Bring forth your strong reasons. Show me what I've done wrong.
That's right.
Read.
For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt and redeemed thee out of the house of servants.
He said, I brought you up out of captivity. I redeemed you. I brought you back home. How many of us do that as fathers? We do that right now. I know I do. I know I do. My door is open for my children if they follow the rule. If they keep the commandments. If they follow the rule, my door is open to them. I'll never turn one of them away. Read,
And I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people,
read.
Remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord.
Now he said, do you know what happened in this situation? Do you know what happened right now? That you may remember how I've been there for you?
Bring it out.
That you may remember how I've been 10 toes down for my children?
Bring it out.
See, we don't look at these things, man. Give me numbers, 22 and 1. Let's see what was happening, man. Let's see what was happening. The Numbers, chapter 22. And verse 22 and 1. Go ahead.
The book of Numbers, chapter 22, verse 1. The children of Israel set forth and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho.
Read.
And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites.
He saw how they had conquered them. Read.
And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
Read.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time.
So he was worried about what was going to happen to his people now, because Israel was cleaning house.
Bring it out.
He was cleaning house.
That's right.
Read,
He sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
Read.
Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people.
He said, curse these people. And the Lord protected us through that curse. As long as we walked with him and kept his commandments, he protected them through that curse.
That's right.
What do you think these fathers are doing in these households right now? As long as you come home, keep the commandments and do what thus says the Lord, or keep the rules of the house, what does he do? Guess what? You eat. It's a roof over your head. You got somewhere to take a shower. You got somewhere to get up and go to work from. You got time to save money now, because guess what? You're under daddy's roof. Daddy can take care of the house by himself. Read.
For they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed.
Understand, man. The Lord protected us through that moment of time. Let's go back to Micah 6 and 6. He protected us through that time. He letting you know, as long as you rock with me, I'm rocking with you. Read.
The book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with cows of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
Understand what he's saying. He said, are the things that he just said acceptable to the Lord?
Bring it out.
Are they acceptable?
Bring it out.
I know I heard one of the brews say they're gonna bring it out, man. You gotta understand something. I don't feel like we were sacrificing bulls and all that, because that ain't what he wanted from us. If you read up.
He had showed thee, oh man, what is good.
He said he has shown us what is good. Read.
And what the Lord require of thee. But to do justly.
But to do what?
But to do justly.
But to do justly, man. Be a just judge. You feel what I'm saying? Be just in what you do. Don't give favoritism. Give equal equality to your brother.
That's right.
Read.
And to love mercy.
And to do what?
And to love mercy.
And to show mercy. How many times should our brother repent to us and we forgive him? How many? Every time he repents, you forgive him. Because that's your brother. Read.
And to walk humbly with thy God.
And to walk humbly, submit yourself to God.
That's right.
His ways and what he's asking you to do. These things he called upon us to do. And that's the way a man's house work.
That's right.
That's the way a man's house work. When your children do this, you let them come home. When they do this, you let them come to the house and let them get themselves built back up. Because you know, when they leave home, they leave their protection. They out there trying to learn on their own. You feel what I'm saying? So when you training up God's children, you gotta have that door open for them, man.
That's right.
Some of them gonna walk back through that door because they done had a hard knock life. Things done went wrong in their life. So when you training them up, you gotta keep the door open. But guess what? In order to come back home, they have to do justly. They have to love mercy. They have to walk humbly with thy God. These are the things they have to do. Hosea 6 and 6. Training up y'all's children is a hard thing to do, man. A hard thing to do. And until we come out of that regurgitated dummy thing, until we come out of that, you know, you can be a good follower and you can end up losing your way. You can end up being a follower for the rest of your life. But he didn't make us to be followers for the rest of our life, but of him.
That's right.
You know, you can be a good follower, that makes you a good leader, but you might get caught up following, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's how you follow the regurgitation of the same things they've been preaching since 1960. Read,
The book of Hosea, chapter 6 and verse 6.
Read.
For I desired mercy.
For he desired mercy, man. Read.
And not sacrifice.
Not sacrifice, but mercy. Read.
In the knowledge of God.
In the what?
In the knowledge of God.
And he desired you to be knowledgeable of God, being obedient of his word. Read.
More than burnt offering.
More than your burnt offering. More than a gift. A gift destroys the heart. Let's go back. Micah 6 and 9. Read.
The book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 9.
Read.
The Lord's voice crieth unto the city. And the man of wisdom shall see thy name.
And the man of wisdom, he shall hear him. Read.
Hear ye the rod.
Hear ye the correction. Hear ye the instruction. Read.
And who hath appointed it?
Read.
And there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked.
The treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked. This is going into Israel being into unjust dealings, dealing with God's wicked seed.
Bring it out.
Read.
And the scant measure that is abominable. Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances?
Understand what that means. They got wickedness in them. Should he still count them as a plus to the pure? Should he still connect them with what is walking righteousness? Read.
And with the bag of deceitful weights.
And with a bag of what?
And with a bag of deceitful weights.
Unjust balance.
Bring it out.
Unjust balance.
Bring it out.
Read on.
For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies.
We end up following these things because we choose idolatry. We choose to serve other gods. You feel what I'm saying? So when y'all's children choose to serve other gods, the same way a man's children choose to serve the world instead of being in the house with his father with his protection. I'm gonna show you. Keep reading up.
And their tongue is deceitful in their mouth.
And they speak lies, hypocrisy. Give me Exodus 20 and 8. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna get there. I'm gonna just hold off on it. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the seventh day to keep it holy.
Now the Lord told us to do this and to keep it holy. Read.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7 days. Wherefore the Lord blessed the seventh day and hallowed it.
And did what?
And hallowed it.
So I'm gonna show y'all something right quick. Let's get Nehemiah 10 and 31. I want to bring these out before I actually go into it. Before I actually show you what I want to show you. Nehemiah 10 and 31. Go ahead.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31.
Read.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath,
Read.
or on the holy day, that we should leave the 7th year and the exaction of every day.
Now, we ain't supposed to be buying and selling on the Sabbath. We understand that. Give me Exodus 35 and 3. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 35 and verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the 7th day.
So you know that goes in. We talking about no cooking on the Sabbath day. But I'm gonna ask you something, man. I'm gonna ask you something. Matter of fact, go to Isaiah 58 and 13. Isaiah 58, 13. Let me get there with you. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13.
Read.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
That's all he telling you to do. Set aside what you've been doing all week. Set everything aside, and the day that he hollered, show your service to him.
That's right.
That's all he asking you to do. Forget about the cooking. Forget about the going to the stores and the buying. And make sure you prep for your Sabbath day. Because on this day, we're supposed to honor him. We're supposed to worship him. We're supposed to serve him.
That's right.
That's the service of the church.
That's right.
So all he was saying was put down the things you want to do and do me for the day.
That's right.
Read.
And call the Sabbath a delight. The holy of the Lord.
He said respect the 7th day. Read.
Honorable. And shalt honor him, not doing thine own way.
Not what?
Not doing thine own way.
Read.
Nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words.
He said, hey, honor me on this day.
That's right.
Leave work at work.
That's right.
Leave your arguments with your spouses at the crib.
Bring it out.
Check your children before you walk out the door. And come to the church and do the service.
That's right.
It's my day. This day is me. Put away all the things that you could have did all week. Put that down and come serve me. That's all it's saying.
That's right.
That's all it's saying. We can't cook. We can't clean. I can't change my baby diaper. Bro, don't be dumb, bro. Excuse my language. Don't think like that.
Yes, sir.
Don't think like that. Let's go back. Give me Exodus 20 and 12. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 12.
Read.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land.
Read.
Which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
It said, honor your father and your mother. Well, I actually got to tell y'all something, and I'm going to be honest with you. I got raised by a mom and a daddy. My mom and my daddy wasn't always right. They did things. My daddy smoked. You know, my family ate pork. You know, so you tell me something right quick. Let me ask you something right quick. So when my daddy was asked me, because we bought the cigarettes from the same store, so if I went in that store and got his pack of cigarettes and brought them back to him, they knew I was coming. We didn't need ID. They knew your daddy or your mama had sent you to the store. Okay, so if I was 13 or 12 and he told me to go get that pack of cigarettes and I said, I ain't going to get it, daddy, what would have happened to me?
Bring it out! Bring it out.
We need dinner for the night, son. Take this book of food stamps when it used to look like money. Take this book of food stamps, go to up there, get a family pack of pork chops, get a loaf of bread, get some mayonnaise. We have pork chop sandwiches tonight. What would happen if I said, no, I don't want to do that? That would have been disobeying my mother and my father.
That's right.
See, we don't think about that. We don't think about that. Give me Sirach 3 and 8. We don't think about that. So you have to honor your mother and your father.
That's right.
But when you become grown, you can now and understand what the Bible is saying, because we didn't understand what it was saying. You don't have to do it then. Mama, that's bad for you. You can say that then. But when you're a child and you don't do what they tell you to do, you ain't sin.
That's right.
Read, huh?
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 8.
Read.
Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed.
Do read that again.
Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed.
Man, I had to go do what they told me to do.
That's right.
That's what was that? That was being obedient to what they told me.
That's right.
Read.
That a blessing may come upon thee from them.
And me being obedient to my parents, it was more easier for me to be obedient to God when I became a man.
That's right.
Drop down to verse 12.
Verse 12. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth.
So this go for your mother and your father. It said help them in their age. Read.
And if his understanding fail.
And if their understanding fail, if they not thinking correctly, read.
Have patience with him. And despise him not.
And hate him not, read.
When thou art in thy full strength.
When I am in my full strength, we're supposed to give back. We're supposed to take care of our parents because they took care of us. Read up.
For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten. And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up.
And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up. Stop being regurgitated, man. Read this Bible for yourself. 20 and 13, Exodus 20 and 13. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill. Now these are the rules of the house. And with these rules, it come consequences and repercussions. It comes judgments and it comes necessary punishment.
That's right.
For these things. So let's go to 21 and 12. Exodus. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 12. He that smiteth a man, so that he die, shall surely be put to death.
Read.
And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile,
read.
Thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die.
Read.
And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
So if you fall upon a man and kill him with hatred, you'll be put to death.
That's right.
That was the judgment, the consequence of murder. But if you in self-defense, he will give you a place to flee to.
That's right.
Because it wasn't done out of hatred, it was done out of protecting yourself. Now, these are the consequences of it. So this is just like daddy in the house laying down the rule. You feel what I'm saying, son? He just told you, son, don't be a murderer. There are consequences to murder if you kill somebody. And these are the consequences according to God, right? So, son, don't stick your finger in that fan because it got steel blades on it. And the consequences of sticking your finger in that fan, son, is it's going to cut it off. You understand? But some of our children, they still, I want to hear it, and they still go stick their finger in it. That's Israel. That's Israel. Raising up God's children out of this. He gave us the right things to do. Now, I'm going to keep going because I want to show you something. Now, let's go to Exodus 20 and 14. That was the murder. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 14.
Read.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
He said we should not commit adultery. We should not commit adultery. Leviticus 20 and 10. And then he gave you the consequences and the repercussions of it. Go ahead, Art.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10.
Read.
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
So these are the consequences and repercussions behind adultery, right? And I could read on down, but I'm not. Because it tell you not to sleep with your father's wife. It tell you not to sleep with your father and your mother's sister and brother. It tell you not to sleep with your own sister. So these things, these are rules and regulations to a house to the Lord's household, right? And this is what we're supposed to be doing. So when we training you up, this is the way we train you from a babe. Because remember, man, what these laws was made for. Now, on the Committing Adultery Act, he said both of them shall be put to death. You remember when your dad used to tell you everything look good till you ain't good for you?
Bring it on!
You remember because he knew that girl was married next door.
That's right.
But she looked good to you and she been flirting with you. But he said, hey, son, everything look good to you ain't good for you. So when that man chasing you out of his house with that pistol, if you get shot and you die, you deserve it. Because that's another man's home you digging in. That goes into covetousness. Let's go back. 15, Exodus 20 and 15.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 15. Thou shalt not steal.
Say, thou shalt not steal. 20 and 15. Thou shalt not steal. Exodus 22 and 1. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
So those were the repercussions. You had to pay back 4 times what you took. Those were the repercussions of being a thief in this time. Read on.
If a thief be found breaking up or being smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him.
That means if somebody kill him in the midst of his act, whoever did it, they forgiven for it. They don't have to worry about that. Read.
If the sun be risen up upon him, there shall be blood shed for him. For he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft.
Read.
If the theft be certainly found in his hand, alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double.
He shall do what?
He shall restore double.
So those were the consequences and repercussions of being a thief. You know, that's a teaching moment. That's something you're taught as a child. You know, you taught these things as you grow up and you get reared up in the truth. Let's go back. What's that, 20 and 16? Exodus 20 and 16? Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Let's go on and do the other one. Read 17.
Verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thundering.
That's it on that. He said, and all the things that are thy neighbors. Now give me Exodus 23:1. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report.
Read.
Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
So he said, thou shalt not be a false witness. Consequences and repercussions. Now give me Deuteronomy 5:21. I'm kind of flying because I know we're on time limit. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 21.
Read.
Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife.
That's coveting a man's wife when you desire her. When you look at another man's woman and you lust for her. Read.
Neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house.
You want a house like he got. You wish to be in his home. Read.
His field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor.
So we're not supposed to fall into a covetous spirit. Now let me show you something. Give me Hebrews 5:8. The book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 8. Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 8.
Read.
Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
The things that we grew up learning, he said, yet we were sons, we learned obedience by what we suffered, by being corrected, by the rod of discipline, by learning. Even Christ learned this way.
That's right.
Because he had to be taught of the Father. Read.
And being made perfect, he became an author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
Unto all them that walk like him, that roll like him. See, after he learned these things that we learned through, because that's what happens here. We needed the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the teaching of that, because we had to learn Moses first.
That's right.
We had to learn Moses first. We had to learn what Christ was all about and how he came and showed us a better way to do things. Instead of thinking about what we can't do, think about what we can do.
That's right.
Drop down to verse 11.
Verse 11. Of whom we have made many things to say, and hard to be uttered.
Read.
Seeing ye are dull of hearing.
Seeing that you were really dull of hearing, because if you really read the old covenant and read the laws and understood the punishments for it, you would see what it was going into. Read. For the time ye ought to be teachers. For the time we should be teachers, read.
Ye have need that one teach you again.
We have need that one teach us again. If somebody have to teach you something again, it's because you did not get it the first time.
That's right.
Read.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
Which be the first principles of God's word. Read.
And are become such as have need of milk.
Need of what?
Need of milk.
Now you got to be retaught again all the way from the beginning to the end. You have need of milk. Read.
And not of strong meat.
And not of strong meat, because when you roll into the new covenant, it's hard for you to understand because you don't understand the purpose of the principles of the law. That's right. Read.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
Because everyone that's still living in the past is unskillful in this word. That's right. Read,
For he is a babe.
He is a what?
He is a babe.
He is a babe. He's still being fed with the bottom. He is a babe.
Bring it out.
He's choking off the meat. You know why? Because if you go read this laws and what it's all about, I'll give it to you in a minute. Read on.
But strong meat belonging to them that are of full age.
But strong meat belonging to them that have became men and women, and not toddlers. Read.
Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Can still discern good and evil, but choose the wrong path. Not understanding what the law was made for. Now, where am I at? Give me 1 Peter. Give me 1 Peter 2:1. Go ahead,
The book 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile
read
and hypocrisy.
Because see, if you lay aside these things, read.
And envy. And all evil speaking.
And all evil speaking, hypocrisy, deceit. If you lay aside these things, guess what you're doing? You keeping God's laws.
That's right.
Read,
As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word.
Read.
That ye may grow thereby.
Because they need to grow. The whole point of the old covenant, reading the old covenant all the way to the new covenant, is to grow.
That's right.
Spiritually, mentally, physically, is to grow.
That's right.
Built up. This is y'all's children already. Their growth has been stunted because you still got brothers out there. You can't do this and you can't do that. You ain't supposed to do this and you ain't supposed to do that. And their growth is stunted because they still worried about what they can't do.
That's right.
And haven't really read the words of the Lord. Read up.
If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious.
Have you tasted the mercy of God? Have you tasted the grace of God? Have you seen the sacrifice of the Lord? Any man that would die for me, I should be willing to die for him.
That's right. That's right.
That's what's coming, putting off the old man, putting on the new man. That's what comes with purging out the leaven. Putting off the old and bringing in the new. It's time for them to be trained up. Give me Luke 10:25. Go ahead.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 10, verse 25.
Read.
And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
Read.
He said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind.
Read.
And thy neighbor as thyself.
That's keeping God. Once you get your tail toe up with the rod, once you get your mind toe up with the scriptures, once you get built up, it all turns into this.
That's right.
Loving your neighbor as yourself and loving God with everything that you got.
That's right.
And if you do those things, you're keeping God's law. He said upon that stand all the law and the prophets. So tell me how they still out there being Pharisees and Sadducees on their corner.
Bring it out.
And not explaining to them the whole thing. Explain to them why we say our sisters should wear a dress. Explain to them that they're not showing their shape to everybody. They're not giving a man something to lust for. Show them that. Show them how a man is required to follow the Lord. And how his house is required to follow him. How the commandments help run the house. How it help build up the children. To the point to where they just doing it because they love their mom and daddy. Now they ain't doing it because they making them do it. Read,
And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Read.
But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Yahushua, And who is my neighbor? And Yahushua answering said,
Read.
A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, and which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead.
They left him for dead. He got robbed, and they left him for dead. Read.
And by chance, there came a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
When he saw that this man was troubled, a priest, he passed by him, he left him there. Read.
And likewise, a Levite, when he was at that place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side.
He said, what, a Levite? When he saw at a place, he came and looked on him, he looked at him, and he passed by. Read,
But a certain Samaritan.
That's where they get the term Good Samaritan from.
Bring it out.
That's where they get it from. He said, but a certain Samaritan, read.
As he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, He had compassion on him.
He had compassion on him. What did Christ have on us?
Bring it out.
Ain't we supposed to walk like Christ? What did Christ have on us? He had compassion for him. Read.
And went to him and bound up his wound.
He bounded him up. He helped him. Read.
Pouring in oil and wine.
And
set him on his own beast.
Read.
And brought him to an inn. And took care of him.
What did he do?
And took care of him.
What do a father do for his wife and his children? What does God do for his children? He takes care of us long as we walking with him.
That's right.
Read.
And on the morrow when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host and said unto him, take care of him. And whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
Read.
Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves?
Which one of these 3 you think was his neighbor? Was it this cat over here because we from the same bloodline and he walked right by me?
Bring it out.
What is this cat over here that was the priest? He's supposed to be a spokesman for the Lord, but he kept on strolling.
Bring it out.
Or was it my brother, man, that's concerned with my life and see when something's going on with me, he always got his hand out ready to help me because my brother loved me, because he loved his neighbor as himself. Read.
And he said, he that shewed mercy on him. Then said Yahushua unto him, go and do thou likewise.
What did he say?
Go and do thou likewise.
He said, go and do the same thing to the people.
That's right.
Luke 6:31. Go ahead.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 6, verse 31. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
So as you wish somebody do for you, you should be doing ye for them. Y'all gotta change up this regurgitation of the Bible. You gotta start getting in here and start restructuring the foundation. You gotta get back on the foundation of Christ. Because what's happening is, we still on the foundation of Moses and the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
That's right.
We still doing the same thing. How we gonna train up God's children, bro, and we still teaching them the same thing, having them misconstrued and confused?
Bring it out.
Until we all get on the same page, some of y'all need to resign y'all seat.
That's right.
I'm just being honest. Some of y'all need to resign y'all seat.
That's right.
You know, to the brother out there telling this wankster stuff about Chris Rock need to sleep with Jada Pinkett. How you gonna sit on the seat in Israel, bro, and say something stupid like that? And be a leader of Israel. You know what you teaching our people? It's okay to go sleep with another man's wife if he done wrong. What about the Bible that said revenge is mine, saith the Lord?
Bring it up.
What about that?
Bring it up.
How you gonna sit on the seat of Israel and give false information to the people to help them kill their own self?
That's right.
How you gonna do that? See, when you got children that act like that, that's how come God sends us to the other nations into captivity. Just like I'm a real father. I love my children to death, but if you can't follow my rules, I put you out.
That's right.
Don't you know he do the same thing to us? Right. You can't follow these rules, you're not going to be a spokesman for him in truth and sincerity. Give your seat up. Stop destroying these children, man. Stop doing it. The Bible says spare the rod, spoil the child. Pull that nigga off that seat, man.
Bring it out.
Pull him off that seat, man. Set him down. Because that's the most dishonorable thing you can do. Give me 1 Timothy, man. Matter of fact, give me 2 Peter 3:9. 2 Peter 3:9. This is going to be the last one, bro. I got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Read.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
He's not slack concerning his promise, because if we repent, he let us come home. If we change our ways, he let us come home. Read.
As some men count slackness. But his long suffering.
What is he?
But his long suffering.
Man, I'm telling y'all something about our God, bro. You know what he do? He's long suffering. He's patient with us. How many of us, I spent 30 years of my life being wicked, bro.
Bring it out.
I spent 30 years of my life being wicked. You feel what I'm saying? I was a good child. I did what my mom and daddy told me to do, but I was the first one smoking weed. I was the first one selling drugs. I was the first one robbing. I was the first one doing things outside of it. He's long suffering with us. Could have took my life at any time, bro. So many of my partners died in that lifetime. So he's long suffering with us. He's patient. The same way we're supposed to be with our children. I know half our children ain't even in the truth, bro.
Bring it up.
Half of them. But if they call my phone, they need my help, I'm going to tell them like a T.I. is. But that's still my child. Read.
But it's long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish.
He don't want any of us to die, read.
But that all should come to repentance.
Just like a father in his home, he just wants his children to get right. And he's long suffering. And he's patient. But those that won't get right, he will take you out.
That's right.
He will end that spirit.
That's right.
But those that he see light in, he's long suffering. He's patient. He's loving. You got to train up God's children.
That's right.
So the first thing you do when they walk in that door is you teach them the law.
That's right.
Because the law was made for sinners. When they came in that door, they were still in sin. You have to teach them the law. Right. The circumstances, the punishments, and the judgments. And then what do you teach them after you teach that? I heard a brother say that too. What do we teach them after we teach that? And he was right. What do we teach them after we teach that? We teach them to love God with all their heart, with all their mind, with all their body, with all their soul, with all their spirit, with everything they got. And we teach them to love their neighbor as they self.
That's right.
On that, we say shalom.